Jesus Christ, right? So now y'all see the title is called "The Seven Seals in World War III." What is it good for, right? Because you know, like anybody that they probably familiar with the seven seals, the seven trumpets, plagues, and all that stuff. So we're gonna go through it, and then also just see how it lines up with the history that we know, that to happen, and to see what seal we in now, because that's important to know, because it's only seven. So, but like I say too, we gotta understand too that how we know this thing is true because of prophecy, God's word. And God said something a long time ago that certain things was going to happen, and we can see throughout the annals of time how certain things played out. And like I was saying before too, history is still catching up to the accounts in the Bible. That's why I tell you contextually, as far as literature, historical events, the Bible is the most accurate book. And it's not me saying it; it's historians that study this stuff, and that will contest to this. Because, like for example, there's something called the Moabite stone. Y'all can Google that, the Moabite stone. Now, the Bible talk about the Moabite people, like, you know, what, about 2,000, almost 3,000 years before people even actually, realized that the Moabite people exist until they found the Moabite stone. Um, the fact that people talk about Egypt, and all the gold and the riches, like I said, we wouldn't know about that if the certain accounts wasn't already written. So, just to prove like some of the prophecies and the historical accounts and how we can know that this thing is true. We're gonna start off first. We're gonna get right into it. We're gonna start off with Isaiah 45:1, right? So now this is Isaiah. He's a prophet, right? Now he has a prophecy, and I know by now we all heard of King Cyrus, and they might call him King Cyrus the Great or whatever, right? King Cyrus or whatever. So now he prophesies about King Cyrus and his rulership, like I want to say like at least 100 years or so before the man was born, before his parents was even thinking about naming somebody Cyrus. And scholars, secular scholars, they can't really figure it out. But I mean, we know, because we know that, this is the word of God, and we know that the Bible will be true. So, and this man prophesied this man by name. And it says this is Isaiah 45:1. Thus said the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, those whose right hand I have holding to subdue the nations. Because that's what Cyrus did when Cyrus came into power. He took over the known world. He established his kingdom and took over the known world. And this is a prophecy before this man was even born. Like, for like to happen like 100 years or so before this stuff happened. So how could Isaiah know this unless it was revealed from the Most High, who knows everything? Because we all can't know anything unless it was revealed from the person that knows everything. And even whether it's common knowledge or whatever, we don't give the Most High that credit. We just think we just know stuff and not understanding that He opened up our mind and know these certain things. So now, so that's it on that though, just to show you that He prophesied that this man Cyrus was going to come in and do these things like I said, between 70 to 100 years before this man was even born. And we can do the math. We can even guess that his parents was even born then. So let's jump to Daniel real quick. So now it's another. Now Daniel was prophesying about different kingdoms that's going to come into rulership. After Nebuchadnezzar, after his rulership. So now Daniel, he didn't do per se what like Isaiah, like how he named Cyrus by name, but he gave characteristics of certain things, and kind of somewhat, hint on certain historical events. So it says, now it's Daniel 7 and I'm gonna start at 3, and it says, and the fourth beast came out of the sea, diverse one from another. So it's talking about the four beasts. And so it says the first beast was like an eagle, wings, and had was like no. The first beast was like a lion and had wings, and had eagle wings. I beheld it until the wings thereof plucked. So now, right? So now this one, I believe, is talking about it's talking about the Persian and the Mede Empire, because they end up taking down Nebuchadnezzar, and so they so it's talking about the rise of their empire. Then it says, and lifted up upon the earth and made stand on his feet as a man, and a man hurt was given unto it, meaning they took over a lot of different nations. And I mean, we saw the movie 300. You know what I'm saying? We saw how they were had every nation under of the known world. Because that was the movie 300 too. That was a that's a historical account, and the Bible speaks about that king. And we kind of reading about their empire. It's summarizing the empire. In this verse right here. It says, second, so that's the Persians and the Medes. So then it says, another beast, a second like a bear, risen itself up on one side and had 3 ribs in its mouth, between the teeth of it, and they had said unto it, rise and devour much flesh. So so now this is I believe I believe this is the I believe this is the like the Greeks. I believe this is when the Greeks came into power, because they ended up taking down like the Persian Empire. And hold on, what? No, as a matter of fact, I believe this is the Persian Empire, because they ended up taking down 3 kingdoms and stuff to establish their rulership. So so yeah, that's what it was. Like it was the Persian Empire, because they ended up taking out. That's why the bear had 3 ribs in his mouth, symbolizing the 3 nations that it had devoured and took him down. So then it says, after that, I behold another like a leopard, which upon his back had 4 wings of a fowl, and the beast had unto his hand, and the beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given unto it. Now this is talking about Alexander the Great, because so when he took over, he had like 4 generals, and they kind of split the known world that they had, and they kind of split up the rulership. And that's when you get into that history, that's kind of what brings us to this point today, somewhat. But yeah, we're gonna jump now. Now we're gonna get into the 7 seals, right? So we're gonna try to make this quick or whatever, right? Because it's a lot of information, but and a lot of it is like like I said, it's it's not it's not a like word for word account, but it's like it hits on like different points in history. So so now this is now we're gonna go to Revelation 6 and 1, right? So it says, and I saw written the Lamb open, and I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard it were the noise of thunder, and one of the 4 beasts saying, "Come see," right? So now one of the angels is telling John the Revelator to come see what's going on. So now John is about to get a vision of all these different kingdoms and rulerships that's going to come into power, and then also, as the seals is being broken, he's getting these different visions of these different events, historical events that happen. So, so yeah, right. So And it says, and I saw and behold a white horse. He that sat upon him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and went forth conquering, right? So now, too, on the flip side, too, right, before we get into that, now the Christian church, they don't, for the most part, they don't get into Revelation. I know when I was a kid, they was talking about, Revelation is a hard book or whatever. That's because they don't read and they don't understand the Old Testament. Because all that stuff that happened in the Old Testament, in the Apocrypha, that lays up to what we see in the New Testament in the book of Revelation. So that's why a lot of times it'd be hard to understand because people don't know the history. And the Bible is a historical book. Like we just read in Daniel and in Isaiah, two historical accounts that historians, can contest to, that these events happen according to how the Bible said it did. So, but yeah, so it says, behold, I seen a white horse, and so now this white horse is the Roman Empire, and so it's the Roman Empire, and so it's the Roman Empire that's coming into power, and it says, and the crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering. So that's what the Roman Empire did when they came into power. They were able to conquer and subdue the world. And so, and that's how they got down. And it says and it was given a bow, and a bow, what's a bow? A bow is a weapon. You bend a bow, right? And it says, and the crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering.
Feature, please make sure your app is running and can access the internet.
So then, he went forth conquering with the sword, right? Hold on, I'm jumped down. Went forth conquering, and when he had opened the second seal, so now he's opened up the second seal. So the first seal is the Roman Empire coming into power, and these seals, they're not like I said, they're not just like one single event, okay, like this will happen, but it's like certain events that mark that time period, then all that stuff in between, whether it take like a few decades or a century, all that stuff plays out within these seals and trumpets and, and such, right? So, so it says, and he has opened up the second seal. So like I said, so now the Roman Empire too, before we get into the second seal, so like I said, 70 AD, that's when we got expelled from the land. And, basically, thankfully, basically for good, we got expelled from the land. Some of us went into Europe, some of us ran into North Africa and West Africa, where, the Europeans ended up finding us, and, over there. And then, some of us stayed somewhat in the Middle East, so we all kind of went different places because we was running from the Romans because it was wartime. And just like how we see now, like refugees, when it's war and stuff, the refugees, the civilians, they get up out of there, when the armies is fighting. So that, that's what happens. So we, end up running. And we can read Babylon the Timbuktu and it give you a little history on how many of us fled into Africa and Europe. So I saw and opened the second seal, and I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." And another horse, which was red, and power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace. Right. So now the second seal is talking about, basically, I want to say the Renaissance era, and when they somewhat came into power, and then they just once the so-called Europeans came into power, they just started taking peace from the earth, and we know that we know through history everywhere they went to, they didn't come in peace, they didn't keep peace with the nations that they went to. They eventually ended up slaughtering them, So they took peace from the earth, and and then wherever we was, they went and searched us out, and So I'm gonna grab what's that Zechariah 6:1 real quick. So yeah, like I said, that's their nature. As soon as they came out, and came into power, that's what they, began to do. And it says, this Zechariah 6:1. And I also turned and lift up my eyes and looked, and behold, there come 4 chariots out of between 2 mountains, and the mountains were of brass, right? And so mountains, when you read the Bible and you're dealing with mountains is usually talking about nations and people. And when I answered, and I said unto the angel that talked with me, what are these, my Lord? And the angel answered and said unto me, these are the 4 spirits of heaven, right? So letting you know these, like we read in Revelation, the 4 horsemen. So letting you know that these are spirits that, God will, sets out, and that He's had these spirits come and sit on nations and cause them, influence them to do certain things throughout the earth. So it says, these are 4 spirits of the heavens which go forth, standing before the Lord of all the earth. The black horse, now we dealing, so it says the black horse which are therein go forth unto the north country. So what is the north country? The north country is America. And when you're dealing with that black horse is talking about slavery. And so it says that black horse, the spirit of that black horse, was the slavery, came and rested on the north. And we know what happened on this side of the world in these Americas. Slavery. So it says in the black horse which are therein go forth unto the north country, and the white horse go forth after them. So now the white horse was the one that had the spirit of conquering, and we know that the white horse sat on the so-called Europeans. So they got that spirit of conquering, and not only that, they also got that spirit of enslaving nations. So because it says that the black horse rested on the north, and we know that they came over here, and we saw and we know the history what they did over here throughout slaughtering the Native Americans, the Atlantic slave trade, Christopher Columbus coming over in 1492, doing everything that he did. So we know what the black horse and the white horse is, and it says, and the babe went forth and sought out to go that they might walk and go to and fro through the earth. And he said, get hence, walk and go forth through the earth. And they walk to and fro from the earth. So that's what these spirits did, and that's what the European man did once those spirits came and rested on them. They went to and forth to the earth, taking peace, enslaving nations, and so it's letting you know that it was these spirits that came upon these people to do these things. And so let's go to 2 and 6 real quick. And it says, and he answered and spake unto me, saying, this is the word of the Lord. Spirit. But this is and he answered and spake unto me, saying, this is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel, saying, not by might nor by power, but my spirit. So that's the point. God put the spirit on these people, and not just these people, but a lot of these nations, to do what they do. Not just these nations, but our nation also. So it says, not just what it says, but my spirit, said the Lord of hosts, right? So now let's go back to Revelation 6, right? So as you can see, these four horses are spirits that are, let loose to set upon certain nations and certain people. Because you gotta understand, like, God judges nations. Yeah, we go through our stuff, on a personal level, like, if we, because we got choices to make, you're going to suffer from different choices that you make. But on the flip side, God also judged nations, because like it tell you, I can't think of exactly what, but it just tell you that, when the Lord pronounced judgment against a nation, so that's how, he judged, and we reading about the judgment of, these nations right now. So it says, and I saw and behold the white horse. Okay. And opened up the second seal, and a second beast says, "Come see." And went out another horse that was red, and power was given on to him that sat to take peace from the earth. So we know that these people are violent. Everywhere they go, they take peace from the earth. They start wars, genocides. They even get other nations to create genocides and start wars for their benefit. So they took peace from the earth. So it says, took peace from the earth, and they should kill one another. So now, we know how they used to battle each other in Europe too. Like, they what's that, the movie The Bravehearts with Mel Gibson? So we got history of them fighting against each other, and because not only was they, going around conquering the world, they was fighting amongst themselves to see who's gonna, run all of this after they done conquer everything. And they still doing that now. That's what you see with Russia and America, the two main empires now. Is to sum it all up, they're just basically fighting on who's gonna control everything, right? So yeah, right. So it says, and that they should kill one another, and was given unto him the sword, right? So now we know that Esau's blessing is the sword. The so-called white man blessing is the sword. Esau being his biblical name, being the sword. And and with that being said, that's his blessing, the sword. And so, and it says, and the sword was given to him. And so, and through prophecy, he's going to conquer and live off the fat of the land with the sword. And that's what he's been doing since they came into power. And let me see, this go to Revelation 2 and 9, 12 and 9 real quick. It says, and a great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil, and Satan, which deceived the whole world. So we see that this great dragon, this serpent, is not talking about a physical, spiritual demon. Satan is talking about a man, a nation, a people. It says, and that great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil, and Satan, which deceived the whole world, who was cast out unto the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And what that means is that his angels, his followers, his army, his allies, allies and stuff, they're roll with him. So it's the like I say, it's the devil, and the devil just means deceiver, liar. Because like it just says, the great serpent who deceived the whole world. And how did he deceive the whole world? By lying to people, giving us false religions, giving us whitewashing history. Putting himself up like he did everything when we know that his history goes back to the caves. So yeah, deceiver. That's why we say devil. Devil just meaning liar. So let's go to what's that? Let's jump to Proverbs 29 real quick. So yeah, we gotta try to understand this thing, because a lot of people want to know what's going on with World War III and all that stuff, but we got to break it down and understand why we at this point. So what I say, 20. You go to 29 and 2. when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. So it's telling you when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. So we know who's running everything right now. Because, I know when I was a kid, it was like a little cliche. People say, like, this a white man's world or whatever, right? So it's telling you that when the righteous are in authority, so it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. So that's what we're experiencing now. That's why so much hell on earth. That's why, everything is so high, and, all these different, atrocities that's going on throughout the earth. Like every nation you go to, pretty much, it's some type of, evil that's being done because the wicked bear rule. Then as they rule, they oppress the poor. And so yeah, it says, I'm gonna keep reading. So and when he had opened up the third seal, I heard the third beast say, "Come and see." And behold, a black horse. So now, like I said, so now the second seal, is the Renaissance era of them coming back into power, and they taking over things, taking over nations, conquesting. And now the third seal is us going into slavery, like we read about in Ezekiel, about the black horse being representation of slavery and settling down in the North Country, which is we know to be America. So so then, like I said, so it's history in this thing. We read, this is Revelation, and they tell you, oh yeah, Revelation is a spooky book, but we reading stuff that we can match up, certain events to history. Yes, it's coded, because you gotta understand, this is our book. We talk with slang. We always use different words to express ourselves. That's why we, got so much flavor when we speak, because we, know how to, just, use metaphors to mean, what we're trying to say. And this is how this is written. And we got to understand that. Once you understand, that we wrote this, then you can kind of break it down, because you know how we talk, And it's not all that mystical, it's just written in slang. So, for lack of better terms, so yeah, he opened up the third seal, and I heard the third beast say, "Come and see, and behold, the black horse, and he that sat upon it had a pair of balance." So now that word balance, when you look up that word balance in the Greek, it's I believe zakos or something like that, if I'm pronouncing it right. Zakos means chains, restraints. So this is how we know that another reason how we know that the black horse is a representation of our slavery. Because the Greek word for balance is, like I said, shackles. When you look it up in the Greek. And so, and it says balance was in his hand. Then it says, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts saying, "Measure wheat for a penny." So now back in slavery, right, it says measure a wheat for a penny. So back on a plantation, or even coming here on the slave ships, because we saw Amistad, right? We saw how they would walk through the holes of the ships, and they just drop the food down, right? So this verse is telling you that during this captivity, that we're going to be fed, but we're going to be fed like the bare minimum, just enough to keep us alive. So that's why it says measure the wheat by a penny. Meaning like, you're going to get very little, just enough. And like I said, you saw Birth of the Nation with Nat Turner when it was, throwing the food at the people. And Nat Turner, he didn't get no food because, he didn't, so not every time, we ate good all the time. And we know we didn't eat good because they gave us leftovers that we call chitlins and whatever else, that we, end up eating, whatever, right? So, it says measure the wheat, right? So then it says, by barley and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. So what that means is hurt not the oil and the wine. Hurt not the oil and the wine, meaning there's that our people had. Because some of our people in slavery knew that they was Israelites, i.e. Harriet Tubman, Nat Turner, once he started to read. And a lot of others, knew that we was Israelites, but they had to keep it on the hush because we were in slavery. That's why they didn't want us to read the Bible, because they knew that who we were. And once we start recognizing, that's why they had to give us a lot. That's why, we were only allowed to, read like certain, versions of the Bible. So, cause like I said, cause they understood. And a lot of our people understood. That's why it says, "Hurt not the wine and the oil." The wine and the oil is the knowledge and understanding that our people had at the time of who we were. I mean, yeah, some of us, kind of fell off into other customs. Some probably Islamic or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, that we knew, who we were. And it says, and when he had opened up the fourth seal, I heard a voice of the fourth beast says, "Come and see." Right. So now open up the fourth seal. So far as this, let me see. It says, "Look, behold, a pale horse. He that sat on it was death, and hell followed him, and power was given unto him over the fourth part of the earth." Right. So now the fourth part of the earth, once again, is dealing with these Americas, because like they teach you in school or whatever that because what's the third part of the earth? Africa, Europe, and Asia. And then America is the fourth part of the earth, what they call is the New World. And then you have over here what they call is the Old World. So the power was given to them to take over the fourth part of the earth, which was the Americas, that we know about. And it says, to kill with the sword and with hunger and with death and the beasts of the earth, right? So then that's what happened when they came over here. They came over, they slaughtered the Native American cattle, their food source. Everywhere they go, they take the natural resources, until the people in the land is just desolate, right? And like I said, they cause famines, man-made famines because of they, so then what we got? So then it says, and so right now technically, we want to ask what technically we're in the fifth seal right now. So technically we're in the fifth seal. The fourth seal was like I said, dealing with slavery, and then the fifth seal is dealing with the whole aftermath of all of that, right? So so now we got where we at? So now we got hold on one second. 1 second, yeah. Oh yeah, my bad, y'all. So yeah, like, so what was that? So yeah, we I believe we like let me see if fifth seal, fifth seal. So yeah, look and behold the pale horse, and the name was that sat on him was Death and Hell, and followed, and Death and Hell followed him. So that's how we know too that death and hell is not a place that you die and you go to. Death and hell just mean conditions, because when these people, wherever these people went to, they brought death and hell to this place. They brought death and hard times wherever they went. That's what that means, death and hell. So so it says they brought death and hell follow him, and the power was given to him over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword and with hunger and death. And then he opened up the fifth seal, and I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain with the sword. So now these are our ancestors, and a lot of us that's been slain with the sword. Because you got to remember, this Bible is all about us. All these prophecies, everything that we see in the world is about our liberation and getting us back to our rightful place as being like rulers of this planet, how was designed to be. So so what it says, when you open up the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain. So like I said, that's our ancestors that were slain throughout, the Atlanta slave trade, the Arab slave trade, slavery, some of us throughout this, just living here in this system. And so then it says, they were slain for the words of God. And so dealing with, but primarily our ancestors that was during those times, during that slavery time. Because like I said, it says, hurt not the oil and the wine. So a lot of them knew, who we were, and they were teaching it. Just like we got said, like Harriet Tubman, she knew that she was an Israelite. Nat Turner knew that he was an Israelite. And so, those are just the ones that we know. But, and just, there's a few more I can't think of, but there's a few of them. So they got killed for reading the Bible. So speaking on those that were slain for the word of God, that was killed for reading the Bible also. And so it says, and they cried out with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord, true dost thou not judge and revenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? So now, we asking like, okay, we want revenge for what we've been through, right? So then it says, and a white robe was given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season until their fellow servants also, their brethren that should be killed as they were. So God is telling the saints and our ancestors, our people that died through slavery during that, the prophecy and through the spirit, like, like, yeah, I'm gonna revenge y'all, but we all got to go through this punishment. So he's saying, like, when all of Israel go through, face this death through this enslavement that we've been put here through America and other places throughout the world. He said, then once all of y'all go through all of this, then I'm gonna, I'm gonna, right now, you die, you get your little rest, then you're gonna, you come back, like, we read, like we studied before, how how we regenerate. When we die, we come back, a generation or so later, and then we keep regenerating, right? So he's letting them know that, like, you're resting right now, so but you're gonna be revenged. And so now it's kind of getting into World War III. So just a little somewhat of the historical events that kind of, John kind of hit on a little bit. Like I said, it's not like detailed accounts of, okay, yeah, blah, 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 this happened and this happened. So it just gave you, like, certain events throughout history that happened. And so it says, behold, this is verse 12, chapter 6, verse 12. And behold, when he had opened up the sixth seal, so now we're on the sixth seal. So now let's get into Revelation, World War III. So right now we're in the fifth seal, because World War III haven't happened yet. We in the beginning stages of World War III, but when that sixth seal opened, then that's when World War III starts. So it says, behold, when he had opened up the sixth seal, lo, what it says, I'm sorry. Yeah, behold, when he opened up the sixth seal, lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth, right? So, But hold on, too. Before we get into the six, let me jump back up to 6 and 6, right? To like the whole, just to hammer home the point of, you know, these different trumpets and the different events. So it's we can go to Jeremiah 6 and 14 or 4 real quick. 16. Straight up and down. So like I said, so getting into the whole, back into the part about like us getting into slavery and having like, small rations of food and stuff too. So it says, hold on, I couldn't just make sure. Yeah, so it's telling you like, okay, let me start at 2. It says, thou shalt not take thee a wife, neither shalt thou have a son or daughter in this place. Meaning like, our children, our wives and stuff is going to be sold off like they were. We know the history that they were sold off. We saw the movie Roots, they were sold off, right? So, for thus said the Lord concerning the sons and daughters that are born in this place, concerning their mothers that bear them, and concerning the fathers that beget them in this land, they shall die grievous deaths. So that's what happened to us during slavery. We died grievous deaths. We didn't have peaceful deaths because we had, bondage, living in bondage. So it says, they shall die grievous deaths. They shall not lament, neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth, and they shall be consumed by the sword and by famine, and their carcass and it shall be meat for the fowls and for the beasts of the earth. And that's what happened. Especially in the 1900s, they used to hang us on trees and just leave us there, and for the birds and other little wild animals to eat us and stuff like that. And like I said, and then just like the whole system to make it so that they can keep us in profits. So I mean, like I said, they work very hard to keep this thing that they got going. And so yeah, we're gonna jump back back to Revelation 6 real quick. So yeah, we get into the so yeah, I'm gonna get back to this 6 here. So it says jump back down to 12. So it says, behold, when he had opened the 6th seal, there was a great earthquake, and that earthquake is them bombs falling. When those other countries that's against this place start throwing their bombs, it's gonna create earthquakes and seismic activity, and not just that, but then just from the bombs exploding itself is gonna make the ground quake. So it says. It says, behold, when the opened the 6th seal, black as sackcloth of hair of the moon became as blood. So just saying that a lot of these that a lot of our people is going to die. I believe with the sun representing Israel in the northern kingdom. And the southern kingdom. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as the fig tree casts untimely figs when they are shaken by a mighty wind. So the stars is these nations. So, like I said, so sometimes, the Bible refers to people as, like different things like stars, trees, mountains, hills. So it's saying in this instance, stars are being nations. So it says, And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, and even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she has shaken of a mighty wind, and the heaven departed as a scroll. So now it says the heaven departed as a scroll. So now what that is, and we can YouTube a video of a nuclear bomb blowing up, and when it goes up that mushroom cloud, it looks like a scroll because it's wide at the top, it's skinny at the bottom. You see one of those ancient scrolls. You can Google like one of those ancient scrolls. Like you can see how it's made. So that's why John the Revelator is describing it like that, because that's what he knows from his frame of reference. To describe it as a scroll when he sees this bomb go off, right, in his vision. So he says, and the heavens departed like a scroll together. Even the mountains and the islands were moved out of their places, meaning these nations and these far off islands, they all gonna feel it, and they're gonna be, destroyed also, with the fallout and all the stuff that comes after it, because then you got diseases and famine, and then you got little proxy wars where people fighting against each other for the little, stuff that they can, scavenge to get, It's gonna be like some, it's gonna be like, what's that, Walking Dead stuff, but instead of zombies, it's just gonna be some, just horrible conditions, just everybody just gonna be wild. So, the mountains fall on us and hide us from hold on, y'all. So it says, and they said unto the mountains and the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sat upon the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of the wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? So in that day, the sixth seal, when that sixth seal go up, which is nuclear bombs, during World War III, is saying who's going to be able to stand. So then, so we got to understand, like I said, so that's the sixth seal. Then, so we're going to, hold on real quick, let's see what's up with this baby. Where's my yeah, my bad, y'all. So so when those bombs goes off, it's gonna be wild for him. So it's getting to the seventh seal. So now it gets into so like I said, it's gonna say hide us, and we know like they got those bunkers and stuff that they bought, the little doomsday things they got, and that's what they're gonna be calling themselves hiding in, and we're gonna read about that too. But it says for the great day of his wrath has come. So it's a great judgment coming towards this place called Babylon, with thermonuclear fire. And then it says, after these things I saw angels standing. This is chapter 7. So it says, and after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth. The wind should not blow on the earth. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea. So he's talking to these 4 spirits that went out to, to cause havoc on the around the earth. And it says, saying not hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, until we have sealed the servants of our God. So now this is getting into the 144,000, right? There are events, it's recapping events that happened in history, and the 6th and the 7th seal are like the, more so future, events. Even though when this was written by John, it was future for him, but, we 2,000 years later, so we know the history. We saw all those things that came to pass already. So now, according to this, we got World War III, but then also when those bombs started, falling on America, and so start getting into the 144,000, and the short, we're not gonna read it, but to shorten it up, it's like 12,000 from each tribe of Israel. It's going to be like the governing body of Israel. Then you're going to have the civilians, which is, I'm going to get that part. And it says, so after this, I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could count in number, from all nations, right? So now, pastor will read that and be like, oh yeah, see, all nations, right? So that means everybody going to be saved. No, because, let's go to John 1:1. Let's prove this, right? James 1:1, matter of fact. James 1:1, and James, anything about James is that's Jesus' brother. That's his little brother. He rode with Jesus, and his brother. So we would think he knows what he's talking about, right? So he says, James, the servant of God and the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 disciples to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings. So we are scattered abroad. So when they talk about all nations, it's talking about us and where we've been scattered to. So let's get Genesis, to further prove that. Get Genesis 30:1. So Genesis, Deuteronomy 30:1, and it says, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt see these things come upon thee, the blessings and the curse which I have set before thee, thou shalt call them to mind amongst all the nations, whether the Lord has driven thee. So this is how we know that multitude of people is talking about us, because we've been driven through all nations, just like it says in James, and just like it says here in Deuteronomy, because Deuteronomy 30:1 is a future prophecy of us being scattered to all nations. And he's saying when you're in these nations, you're going to start remembering who you are. You're going to remember, hey, we're the Israelites. Because when I read this book, and especially that Egypt story, that's real similar to us. When Jeremiah 17:4 says us, that they're going to lose their heritage and their culture, and that's very similar to us. So we're going to start remembering who we is. And that's what we, start doing now. That's why our people, for the most part, they believe in the Bible, or they, feel some type of connection to God, because we know that this pertains to us. Even people that believe that Jesus is white, like our grandmas and people that a little older generation, they can believe that Jesus is white, but they still going to tell you that this Bible belongs to them, that this Bible pertains to them, even though they might even think Jesus is white, because it's in our spirit to be connected to the Most High in that way. So it says, as we says, it come to pass the blessings and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou have called them to mind among the nations where the Lord God hath driven thee, and shall return unto the Lord thy God, and shall obey his voice according to thee this day, and thy children with all thy heart. Then the Lord God will turn captivities to happen. That's what we're reading about. Because we read about how we went into slavery, and in Revelation. And it says, how we're going to turn your captivity and have compassion upon thee, and I will return and gather from all nations where the Lord had gathered and scattered thee. So when we read in Revelation that we see a multitude of people from all nations, we know that God promises is true, because God, don't lie. So we know that he's going to gather us from all nations, and that's what we see in Revelation. So just get back to Revelation. So it says, so it says, behold, I will gather, I want to read it. Okay, after this I behold, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, out of all nations and kindreds and people and tongue, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with a white robe, palm trees in their hand. So too, that's to go back to the promise of Abraham. They said their seeds is going to be like the sand of your kids are going to be like sand of the sea. Your descendants. And so that's what we see. That's, like I said, that's that great multitude. And it cry out aloud in a voice saying, salvation to our God which has sit upon the throne and unto the Lamb. And that all the angels stood around about the throne and about the elders, and 4 beasts fell before the throne on their face and worship God, saying, Amen, bless the glory and wisdom, thanking and honor and the power, with power and might unto our God forever and ever. Amen. Right? So, so we get sealed, we get saved, that multitude is gathered of Israelites that, end up making it out, that survive, the stuff, the events of World War III, the FEMA camps, the different things that they got planned for us, Jacob's trouble. So like I said, this is just a synapse of what's certain events that happen and what's going to happen. And through prophecy and understanding, we can break these things down, and through history, we can break these things down and see where we at. So right now we're in the 5th seal. So so you jump down. So now this is 7th seal. So now all of that is taking place within the 6th, 7th, before the 7th seal. Us getting sealed, because when the bombs start falling, when you see on the news Russia or whoever said, hey, we're gonna bomb America, this is the date. So America, get your shit together. We bombing this day. That's when you know our salvation is near, because that's when those bombs go off. That is connected to us getting up out of here. Hopefully we, be a part of that number. Because a lot of us is not going to make it because it's nuclear fire. and that shit blows up. And plus it's the Lord's will that, a lot of us, in this part is not going to make it out. But we everywhere. We scattered, to the 4 corners of the earth. So that's why we got to get right and come back to the commandments, so we can be a part of that number that does make it out. Because a lot of us is not going to make it out, because a lot of us don't want to change. So like I tell you, and we're going to get this too, but like I tell you, 66% of our people is not going to want to do what this book says. And those is the ones that's going to end up, falling with this place when America gets taken down. And so we don't want to be a part of that number. And so it says, and I saw, so yeah, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to go to 14. And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. So it said, and I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said unto me, these are which that came out of the great tribulation. Let me start at 13. And one of the elders answered unto me, saying, what are these which are arrayed in white robes? So he's asking, who are these people in these white robes? So, and he said, And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. So John telling the angel, like, man, you know, I don't know. I'm up here looking like you looking. I don't know, right? That's what John telling him. And he said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said unto me, these are they that which came out of the great tribulation. And these have washed their robes and made them white with the blood of the Lamb, right? So, like I said, so this is dealing with our salvation out of Babylon when America, falls under nuclear fire. Because a lot of people be wondering, like, how are we going to get up out of here, because it's a nuclear bomb. But like I said, that's the miraculous part of it. It's going to be through the most to get us up out of here. So let's go to Zechariah 13 real quick. So, let's see, Zechariah 13 and 8, right? So it says, and it shall come to pass, this is Zechariah 13 and 8, and it shall come to pass that in all the land which the Lord have 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. So here we go. So like I said, when those bombs go off, Zechariah is prophesying that it says, it shall come to pass that in the land, said the Lord, 2 parts thereof should be cut off and die, but a third should be left thereof. And that third is the one that's going to be brought out of America. And it says, and I will bring the third part through the fire. That fire is that nuclear fire that goes off, those bombs, all that stuff that happened that comes with World War III. It says, I will bring them through the fire and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them, and I will say, it is my people. Who is it? My people. And who's the Lord's people? The Israelites. So this is not talking about everybody. Everybody else is nuclear food, if you're not an Israelite, for lack of better words. So only the Israelites got a chance to escape this stuff that's going to happen to America. But the thing is, only a few of us is going to actually escape, because a lot of us is not going to want to, stop this, stop what we're doing and following American ways. It says, I will bring a third part through the fire and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried, and they shall call my name, and I will hear them, and I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God, right? So, and that's what's going to happen in that day, because, like I said, the Lord is, he's only the God of Israel, like I tell you in Joel 2 and 7, that he's only our God. So we can go to 14, or jump to Revelation 14 and 14 and 8. So it says, jump to Revelation, and there follow another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she had made the nations drunk of wine of the wrath of her fornication. And when it says she had made the nations drunk of wine of her fornication, that is like her philosophies, her way of life, her doctrine, her different things that she promotes. Got all these nations, geeked up about America. That's why you got these foreigners that want to come to America and live out the American dream on the backs of the Black, Hispanic, and Native American people. That's what ended up happening for the most part. And it says, let's see. It says, she had made Babylon it says, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she had made all the nations drink of the wine of wrath, right? So, and that's what, America does. They push their philosophies on everybody, right? They go around promoting their way of life to other nations that, got their own customs and stuff. then they force them to take on different ways, that that they wasn't used to practice. So let's get this in Obadiah real quick. My nigga, man, Obadiah. Hold on 1 second, man. Alright, here we go. Obadiah 9 and 1. 1 and 9. It says, Thy mighty men of Teman, O Teman, shall be dismayed in the... Matter of fact, I'm going to start at 8 and jump up to 8. Obadiah 1 and 8. Shall I not in that day, said the Lord, even destroy the wise man out of Edom and understanding out of Mount Esau? So that's what's going to happen. Like it says, Babylon has fallen. So he says in that day he's going to destroy the understanding out of Esau and out of Mount, destroy the wise man out of Edom and the understanding out of Esau. Meaning he's going to, take him out of power, right? So let's go to Jeremiah 49 and 10 real quick. So you got to understand, this place got a big judgment coming, for what they did to us. And, and pastor not teaching you that, because they telling you that, this is, God love everybody, and they thinking, this, Jesus and everybody coming back giving out hugs and kisses. It ain't happening like that. They got to pay for what they did. So it's 49 and 10. But I have made Esau bare, and I have uncovered his secret places. And he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. So, like I said, he's got a grand plan to take this man off the planet. And, through nuclear fire and other means, right? So we're going to jump back to Revelation, right? So it says, therefore, matter of fact, let's go to Isaiah 45 and 4 real quick too. Hit that one real quick precept. But so when we get into these seals, and the seals is kind of deep, and especially, by us having been taught wrong or being not taught at all because the church not understanding.